Aloha to the lahui. Welcome back to Connect the Dots with Jenny. We're talking Moana Lutey. She is a current Maui County clerk. She used to be corporation counsel for many years prior to that. I believe it was 27. I think. If you don't know what corp counsel is that is basically like a team of lawyers that represent the county, the government. And they just make sure that they're in different meetings and they just make sure that they're like following the laws. So on March 19th, that's when the Maui Police Commission had a meeting to determine whether or not to place John Pelletier on administrative leave for being named in the Diddy lawsuit. They all unanimously voted, unanimously. Tell me how we know some places corrupt without telling me we know they're corrupt when they vote unanimously. When they vote unanimously, nobody questioned whatsoever. They're all just like, no, yeah, he's good. No need to investigate him. No need for public trust or transparency. Should we open any type of independent review to determine whether or not this lawsuit is valid? Instead, they listened to a bunch of bullshit testimony like I'm going to show you from Moana Lutey. They listened to a bunch of those. They didn't even do their own due diligence, which, by the way, Corp counsel was also sitting in on that Maui Police Commission too. So I'm surprised. I would have hoped that all of the police commission members would have read the lawsuit themselves. It's apparent they didn't. And I would have hoped that the Corp counsel, the lawyers that was in that meeting, would have also read the lawsuit. Well, I don't know if they did or did not. But anyways, let's go ahead and watch Moana Lutey's little testimony that day, okay? And then we're going to break it down for you.
There's absolutely no precedent for placing the chief of police on any type of leave pending this lawsuit. Not one of the chiefs I have worked with was ever placed on leave. Why? Because civil complaints require very little. There's no investigation typically done or anything like that. They're just allegations and really not much more.
So Moana Lutey is saying there that anybody can file a civil lawsuit. She goes on to say in her testimony that there's pro se lawsuits all the time. Pro se means the plaintiff did not get a lawyer, that they just went down to the courthouse. That's what she says in this testimony. Anybody can walk down to the courthouse, go ahead and file the lawsuit, pay this small fee, and there's automatically a civil lawsuit. But there's no validity to this lawsuit at all, which she was wrong. Wrong. Because if she would have looked, she would have seen here that Ashley Parham had two lawyers, Sean Perez and Ariel Mitchell. She did zero due diligence. And as a lawyer, we expect more from her, don't we, Lahui? Aloha to the Lahui. Welcome back to Connect the Dots with Jenny. This is part 2 to the previous reel entitled Moana Lutey is the Master of Deceit. So she went to the police commission on March 19 to testify in favor of John Pelletier not to place him on administrative leave after he was named in a Diddy lawsuit. Well, Moana, what she said, watch my previous reel where I show her interview. She said, no chief has ever been placed on leave for being named in a civil lawsuit, and that anybody can just file a civil lawsuit, especially a pro se lawsuit where you don't even need a lawyer to file a lawsuit. Okay, she didn't do her due diligence of actually reading the lawsuit, because especially for Moana, because she was a lawyer for so long. In the lawsuit, she would have seen that Ashley Parham had two lawyers that represented her. So it wasn't a pro se, was it, Moana Lutey? She also states in that interview that no investigations are done in pro ses, except an investigation had been done. Hasn't it, Moana? On June 2nd, it was revealed that the reason why John Pelletier was named in this Ashley Parham lawsuit is because he was picked out of a photo lineup of multiple men in service uniforms. The victim only selected John Pelletier's photo out of that lineup. And why did she recognize him? She recognized him because he was the one. She ran away to a house. She escaped the scene of where she was getting AR'd, ran to the neighbor's house. The neighbor said, don't worry, I called the cops. When the cop came to the door and they answered it, opened it, it was John Pelletier facing her. That is how she was able to identify John Pelletier's photo in a photo lineup. So, Moana Lutey, it was extremely deceitful of you, the way that you worded that information in the Maui Police Commission meeting on March 19th. Now, for those of you who want to go and check my receipts, or you want to read her full testimony, my bio, you tap that link, it has all the receipts. I mainly do that for credibility, so that if any of you guys want to go read anything I'm sharing, you can, but mainly to do a big one of these to all the minions who say I talk shit because you guys just don't like that I'm exposing the truth. It's not that I'm not telling the truth. It's that you don't like the truth that I'm telling. That's unfortunate for you. I'm sorry to hear that. But we have a lot of lahui who want to know the truth. Aloha lahui. Have a wonderful